Welcome to the first episode of how to take a bad RAW file and turn it into a great picture in just about 5 minutes. So this guy on a bike just riding into the sunset, but there is definitely some editing needed. So let's get started by bringing up the shadows as well as the blacks like crazy to get a lot of shadow detail. Also want to make sure I bring down the highlight slider so I can bring up the contrast and make the entire picture pop a little bit more. Also want to mix that with some whites, that definitely works well. Then clarity, overall, I do think I want to add just a little bit of clarity, also some vibrance since this is a RAW file and I want to make this very colorful. Then color temperature is actually quite difficult. I think I'm going to leave it at a relatively neutral level and then go into the split toning and add some warms there. So just want to find out a nice in between, perhaps a little bit closer to the red tones rather than to the yellows, and that works pretty well. Also gonna go real quick into the shadow tones and just see if I want to do something here, perhaps just kind of a purple bluish tone like this, but not much saturation at all. So that already looks pretty good. Let's see with the tint, just adding a little bit of magenta here. Then the tonal curve, I think I'm gonna make the entire lights a little bit brighter, as well as the darks, as well as the shadows actually, but then go into the point curve and add medium contrast, so there's still a little bit of contrast in this entire shadow detail. Then in transform, I'm just gonna click on auto here, and that does a really great job of straightening the lines. Is something that I would recommend in pretty much most architecture pictures or cityscapes. And then I'm gonna go into the graduated filters. Now for the bottom, definitely gonna need some minus exposure to help you draw into the photo. Also want to do the exact same thing with the side. So from the right here, minus exposure, quite a lot. I'm really not shy of minus exposure here at all, but you know, you still want to fine tune it so it still looks kind of natural. Then let's grab another filter for the sky and just make it a little bit more bluish, because I do want to have the top of the sky be a little bit more bluish than the rest. That way it creates differentiation and interest. So just something like that. Then let's grab another filter with just some plus exposure this time over pretty much the entire top side of the photo. Might want to mix that with some minus highlight so I don't clip any of the bright parts in the sky. And then grab another one just for the right here, make it even a little bit darker. You know, again, minus exposure is really not something I have to worry about here, but I am going to go into the rail filters right away, go into the plus exposure, plus whites, and I really want to make this guy seem as if he would go towards the very bright part. That also helps you to lead into the picture, additionally to the entire, you know, lines and compositional elements that lead you into the picture anyways, with these lines, with that guy, and of course with the sunset here in the distance. But this is just kind of an enhancing thing, perhaps just also want to make it a little bit warmer. So just like that, then right click duplicate, see if I can do something on these houses as well, so it looks as if they would have reflected. Then I'm gonna add another filter, taking away the color and going even crazier into the plus shadows, as well a little bit into the plus exposure. Now I think I'm gonna have to add a little bit of green here in the tint, because that guy would otherwise be way too magenta-y. But then I'm gonna grab even another filter over here in the sky, add another layer of color in this just very small part of the sky, while resetting pretty much everything else, except maybe a little bit of the whites here. So just want to have a little bit of differentiation from here to the rest of the warm parts in the sky. And I think I'm gonna add some minus exposure filters as well, especially over here, quite a lot into the minus exposure to help with the contrast and interest. And you know, there are certainly a lot more possibilities. That kind of looks like a shadow, so I'm just gonna stick there. Also want to make these spikes a little bit darker, and I think with that I'm gonna, well, actually just another one right here, even more into the minus exposure for this area. and here's before any rail filters, here's after, a very big difference. But I'm gonna say that I'm done here, perhaps just crop the picture a little bit from the bottom, and yeah, I'm gonna say I'm done. So let's go take a look at the history, see where we started out with, and here's the raw file of how I started it without any editing, and here is the comparison to afterwards. So let me know what you thought of it by either liking if you think that's a cool concept and you like the result in just about 5 minutes, or leave a dislike if you think that is overdone like crazy and I didn't provide any information at all in this video. So thank you very much for watching. If you want to watch another video, perhaps a little bit longer one, you can check out this video right here. But other than that, I'm gonna sign out here. Thanks again and take care.